Hey, folks, this is Andrew, the producer of The Liars Club. Jessica, Felicia, and I want to say thank you so much for giving the podcast a listen. It means the world to us. If you could also please go and give us a rate, a subscribe, a review on whatever podcast app you're listening to, be it Spotify, Stitcher, the iTunes podcast app, Laughable. We would really, really appreciate that. Also, we have live episodes coming out, so be on the lookout for that. And we also have another live episode that we're going to be recording February 15th at the Ice House in Pasadena. So be on the lookout for tickets for that pretty soon. And thank you so much.
Welcome to the Liars Club. This is where we take our guests, we tell them to give us the truth, give us a lie, we figure out which is which. I'm Jessica Wellington.
I'm Felicia Michaels.
And you're about to get lied to.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Liars Club. I'm Felicia Michaels.
And I'm Jessica Wellington.
Jessica, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been great. You guys should see me in the movie The Mule.
Jessica's actually opening up for Preacher Lawson in Levity Live tonight. So we are here at the Comedy Store, and I am with my co-host, Mr. Jayson Thibault, everybody.
Hi, everybody. I love this show, and thank you, Jessica. I hope you have a good set, and thanks for having me fill in for you.
Yeah, and I'm so excited that Jessica's able to do that and having fun. And so we're just going to kick it off, and our first guest tonight is a gentleman that I've seen around here at the Comedy Store, and then last week I looked you up, Frank, and that's why I was asking you so many questions about Roast Battle. I didn't know that you won like season 2 of Roast Battle. That's amazing. Yeah, I don't know if you guys follow Roast Battle or not, but that's incredibly hard to even get a laugh. Like, I did Roast Battle once with this old guy comic named Bob Golub. He'd probably hate that.
I remember that.
Oh, were you there?
I
was fucking terrible at it.
I think you would be good at that. That surprises me that.
I was, and then, but now that I
You're
watch
too nice.
it a lot, no, my jokes were too mean or something. Because now that I watch it a lot, it's very rare that someone gets a huge applause or people. You know what I mean? It's mostly like, because it's all like young comedy nerds in there being all judgmental. And that you won is amazing. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I asked because when I did the Sklar brothers were the judges, and I said, "Did you guys ever do the battle?" And they were like, "Fuck no, we would never do that. That's too hard."
It's a lot of work.
And then they did season 3?
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
they must
they
have
battled
done it right after.
Yeah, it was pretty great actually.
Did they get to battle together? Or
They battled each other.
Oh, they battled each other.
Which is the best way that could go.
Yeah, the best way.
Yeah.
Wow, who won?
We all did because it was the greatest thing to watch. Yeah.
Anyway, Frank Castillo, everyone. Frank Castillo.
Hey,
Yay.
I love the way this looks. It feels like I'm on like an NPR like radio show.
Well, just wait.
You'll see. And then we're actually waiting for another guest, but we're going to go ahead and go because it's Friday night. And you know what? Andrew Rose.
Me?
Our trusty producer is going to tell a couple of stories. And here we go. Are you guys ready? Is everybody ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So for all of you guys that are just tuning in, what we do is we invite our comedy friends on and we ask them to tell 2 stories. One is the truth and one is a lie. And we try to figure out which one is the lie. Jayson is going to take the part of Jessica. And Jessica's usually the bad cop. So lots of questions will be asked, and it will be your job to try to trick us. And I can't wait to hear what Andrew comes up with, what kind of Oklahoma bullshit Andrew's about to come up with.
I feel like we're going to hear some animal fucking stories.
Not this time around. No.
That is a creepy laugh, Jayson. Anyway.
I am filling in for Jessica. I got to have She's got a laugh of an evil witch. I know.
She has the best laugh ever.
The best laugh.
Yeah.
It's infectious.
It is. It's like a full audience in one human being.
Can you imagine being her neighbor and then like she's watching like her favorite comedy? You know,
Right.
You're like, what the fuck is happening next door?
Yeah, what about when she comes? I bet when she comes, it's fun.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Off the rock. Anyway, so Frank, you should go first.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Nice segue too, by the way.
Oh, you're
Wellington
right.
coming, and now you talk now.
Now, Frank.
My first story is about my father.
Who I personally know.
Thibault knows my father. My father is
How does Jayson know your father?
because my dad's a legend.
We were in jail together.
Yeah.
My dad is a legend.
My
now.
dad is a legend. You look at my father and you're just like, oh, okay. That's a legend. I mean,
He's like young, cool dad.
Yeah, yeah.
Kinda, you know what I mean?
He had
Like-
me when he was 23. He just looks like he's a big Mexican guy. He just looks like an OG. He's got his mustache. He's all Dodgers all the time. He loves going to dive bars and just hanging out. He's one of those guys like you can hang out, drink with, shoot pool, talk shit with. He's like a guy's guy. Like they're like, oh, dude, your dad's cool. Everyone loves hanging out with him.
Love hanging out with him.
He's a great guy. In San Jose, he is kind of very well known because he's Dodger Frank. That's kind of like the name he goes by. Because he just walks around in Dodgers outfits all the time.
In
He looks
San
like-
Jose?
Yeah.
He looks like every guy at a Dodger game.
Every single day,
Yeah.
yeah, dead on. Like, you ever watch that Netflix documentary? It's shit. I think it's like 1 in a Million or Long Shot. It's called The Long Shot.
Absolutely seen it. Yeah.
All right. So it's a documentary about this Mexican guy who like gets tried for murder, and he's just like they find him in a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode in the background, and that's how they prove.
And that's how. Yeah.
Are you serious?
On the
Is this a
daily-
documentary?
The
Yeah,
dailies, they find him because his whole argument was I was at a Dodger game with my daughter, and he had the tickets. And then in the dailies, they actually found the footage of him because they shot a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode there.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah,
At
And
a
they actually
Dodger
find
game?
the dailies and prove that he was there.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
was death penalty.
Like,
Are you serious?
And
It's
like,
fascinating. It's
And what is the
so
name of
great.
this again?
It's called The Long
The
Shot.
Long Shot.
But
Okay.
it's like you look
On
it-
Netflix.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it's like they did like a picture of the description of what the guy who shot the person was, and it's like every Mexican
It's
guy.
literally, you could have gone.
Yeah, it was
like,
crazy. Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a beard, bald, he's wearing a hat. Like,
Yeah.
And you're like, you just described every Mexican in Los Angeles.
So that's what my dad looks like. So he's like in San Jose, he's like notorious for just being like the guy. Anyway, so he gets that just because in college he played a lot of sports, and he was like one of the best athletes growing up. He was gonna go to he was getting scouted for like schools and stuff, and then he like fucked up his D. But this was him. He had like a group of friends. They'd always go get fucked up at college games and stuff. They were very notorious. Everyone knew him. They'd go party and stuff. This is at San Jose State College. So it's.
Does he still live in San Jose?
He still lives in San Jose. And this is when they were all going to college. And there's a bar they used to all go to called the Mission Ale House. It's in San Jose. It's a place that like his friend would bartend. And you know what it's like when you have a friend that bartends, you know? You just go get fucked up.
Those are the only people I call friends these days.
Exactly. So they're at their usual spot, just getting fucked up. My dad, his friends, and the school football team is doing they're like in the
College or
playoffs.
high school? Though?
College.
Okay.
College.
San Jose State's football team.
Yeah. So they're like in the running for to go to the bowl or whatever the fuck. Like
Okay.
they're not supposed
They're doing well.
Yeah, they're doing really well right now. And in walks someone from the team. It's like the kicker. And everyone's like losing their shit because it's the guy from the team. And usually like when you're in college, they treat they treat them like royalty. So my dad's like, oh shit, hey man. They're like, oh what's up? And they start like hanging out because my dad's friend knows him. So they start hanging out and he's like, don't you have a game tomorrow? He's like, yeah, we got a game. And he's
How old
like,
is your
"All right, no
dad
problem."
at this time?
Oh fuck. College he had me. This was before me. So he would probably
20 to
about
22?
20, 21.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe. No, he was 21. He had to have been
Yeah, 'cause
21
he's in a
because he's
bar.
drinking. Yeah. So and also I'm pretty sure my dad doesn't like to admit what years he went to college because he's like I went to
Nobody
college.
does. Nobody
He's
does.
like I went to college these years. I'm like, did you go to college? He's like, yeah, whatever. But so they start partying with the fucking kicker. And they start getting fucking getting shit faced and they're all hanging
With
out.
the kicker.
Yeah, it's the day before the game. So they're getting fucked up.
This is Friday. College games are on Saturdays.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't, he never told me the day.
Oh,
But
yeah, because you're like a sports guy.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
This is just a story he loves. He would always love to tell me. But so they start getting fucked up with the kicker, right? And then they just go get drinking, and then they leave. And then the next day they're all back at the bar watching the game. And the game's going pretty well, except when it comes time for them to start kicking field goals.
Called hungover left foot. Kid.
Yeah. So he's it's the first field goal goes up, and it's him to kick, and he kicks it, and he fucking whiffs it. And mind you, My dad and everyone
What
are
does
at
that
the
mean
bar.
to whiff it?
He missed it.
Miss it.
Oh,
Completely miss it.
that's what
Completely
that's
miss it.
called.
Like Charlie Brown.
Completely
okay.
missed it.
Okay.
So my dad and them, they're all hanging out, and like my dad's like, yeah, fucking yeah, and like they're like, yeah, we fucking party with that guy, like yeah, they're all stoked, and they missed the first field goal. So then they're like, all right, that's fine. So they kind of like they're not as they're like, all right, cool, the game's still going, so the game's still going, and then they go to like kick it again, and then he misses it again, and now everyone kind of starts to realize that. My
He's
dad,
hungover.
that he's and that my dad and his friends were, because it's all the same people from the bar, so they all know he came and partied with my dad and his friends, and
What have we done?
yeah. So they go to like, it's like later in the game, and it's pretty close, and then he goes for like the final field goal, and he fucking misses it again, and everyone's so fucking upset at my dad, and my dad and his friend ended up having to leave before the game ended because
Oh,
they were
really?
like, oh fuck.
Wow.
Well, this is an interesting story, just for the fact that you're the first person that's ever told a story about someone else.
Oh, okay.
Is that true?
That is true.
Yeah, isn't that
Interesting.
weird?
Pretty-
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So this is just like a story that has been told to you apparently repeatedly.
Yeah.
Is there a chance your father's lying?
I don't think my father would lie.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
please,
But I do think,
that's lie.
Yeah, but I
please.
definitely do
You wouldn't be here if your dad didn't lie. Yeah, I got a job. Let's fuck.
I do think his friends would lie though.
Yeah. And have you heard this story from one of his friends?
I was just going to ask the same
I've
question.
Heard it
Good
from
question.
him, and then I've also heard it from his friends.
Oh, okay.
Is he still
So-
friends with all the same crew?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was like his core
Yes, his
buddies.
core guys, yeah.
Wow. That's an interesting play, Frank Castillo. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm making notes as you
I
tell.
saw
Yeah.
that.
And I.
like no one else takes notes.
You said one thing, and I'll talk about it later. But there's one thing that you said in there that makes me think that that's a true story.
Really?
Yeah. You know what it was? I'll tell you.
Okay,
I'll tell you
tell
right
us
now.
what it was.
It's a story he loves to tell me. Is a direct quote. And I don't think you would just I think you accidentally just let that go. Like, oh, this is a story my dad loves to tell me. I don't think you would maliciously kind of put that in to throw us off the scent. I think he just kind of accidentally said that, which makes me think it's true.
Don't say anything.
I know.
Well,
Don't say anything, but that's-
then at the beginning of when we were just hanging around waiting, and I said, "Do you have two stories?" And the point is to try to trick us. He's like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, there's that element
So,
too. But
yeah,
I mean,
so-
I want to hear the second story
Yeah,
before I hear.
okay.
But that
Fair
little
enough.
that's the one little nugget that makes me actually, without hearing your second story, I do think that one might be real.
Right. And I do admire that you told us a story that didn't happen to you, but happened to someone else, which is the first time that's happened on the podcast. But I also feel like that's kind of weird. I don't know. I feel that's kind of weird.
Well, the funny thing is and that's why I said, is there a chance? Because he could be like, oh, then I found out all these years later, it was my dad that had lied about this all these years.
Right, yeah,
So his
exactly.
story could be him getting
because
swindled
my dad
for his
used to
whole
tell
life.
tall tales all the time. My dad was a complete fucking liar, and my brother was a liar too. I've already spoken
Oh,
about
yeah,
this on
yeah,
the
yeah.
podcast,
Yeah, you were just
right?
saying that, yeah.
But my dad, he would tell these tall tales, but they would be so fantastic that, like, you ever see that movie, The Big Fish?
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
I love that movie.
great
Yeah.
That every time I watch it, I have to rock back and forth and be like, "Daddy."
'Cause that was your
Daddy."
childhood? Yeah.
Just tall tales. So I'm curious of, if this is a tall tale.
I will say this, and I personally know his father. I love his father. He's a very great guy. We hung out a bunch of times. He is that type of guy that you love at the local bar that is always like, hey, tell that one story again. And it gets grandiose
Bigger and
every
bigger
time.
and bigger.
Almost like
Yes,
Big Fish.
yes,
So
yes.
there is also an angle where that might be the fake
Right.
story. But anyways.
All right, bold move, Frank.
We'll see,
Castillo.
we'll see.
Bold move. I
Good
see
story,
why
good
you,
story.
Why you won Roast Battle season 2. All right, now we're gonna go over to Andrew. Andrew's never told his story on the podcast before, and here we are. So Andrew,
So here we go. It's 2010.
when you were 12.
2010. I'm working at the at the time the Ford Center in Oklahoma City.
The Ford Center.
What is the Ford Center?
It's right now it's the Chesapeake Energy Arena where the Oklahoma City Thunder play. It's
Okay.
it's the arena.
Gotcha.
that
Basketball stadium.
And how old were you?
I was 19, 18, 19. 19. I was 19. 2000.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm working there. I'm a cook, and we obviously had a lot of concerts, a lot of.
You're a cook at a basketball arena.
Yeah. I mean, we had the commissary for the different.
Yeah, what is that at a basketball? So you put the
Like
hot dogs in the bun?
burgers.
Honestly, yeah, that was one of
Concession
our things.
stand.
Well, we had concessions, but we made a lot of our stuff from scratch. We had what was it, barbecue that we cooked.
wow.
We smoked fresh that we put on the nachos and stuff. We had like a separate full restaurant inside, like on the first floor. We did this thing called employee meal that we did Italian one week, Mexican the next week. It was just like shit ton of food. I used to make like 60 gallons of chili a day, or not a day, but like a week, like at a time. It was just so much stuff. So there was other stuff than just hot dogs and nachos. But I'm working there as a cook, and
Try not to be defensive.
well, I'm just, because that's what everyone always expects whenever
right.
you say I worked at an arena as a cook. But I was working there, and we had concerts come through, musicians, and then also we had monster trucks and the pro bull riding, just a whole
Textbook arena shit.
Exactly, a litany of stuff. And one time it was Nickelback. Nickelback was headlining, and then Buck Cherry, and then 3 Days Grace was with them.
So you literally had hundreds of people at this concert.
It was literally hundreds.
18,000 seater, 800 people there. So you're doing an open mic. You're cooking for an open mic of musicians.
That's a great way to put it. So we had a rule that we had to sign a clause, whatever it was, that was if you meet any of the celebrities or whatever, you're not allowed to.
Selfie.
You can't ask for a photo and you can't ask for an autograph. Because as much as their life is in the public, this is their personal space.
Sure.
You're not allowed to do that.
100% get it.
So, but I played guitar. I still do. But I play guitar.
Oh,
and
no, this can't end well.
Yeah, Kenny's a better guitar player than any of those fuckheads.
Fair enough.
Never
Fair
heard him
enough.
play.
I love 3 Days Grace. They were the one band that I gave a shit about. Their lead singer, Adam, we had this separate area where all the bands would go as like a little bar area, and we were making food just for that area. And we were doing bananas, like bananas. What is bananas Foster?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cinnamon and it
Sure.
flames up and stuff. And we were talking to him. He took a photo. It was really cool. And I talked to him and I said, "Hey, man, big fan of the band. You can't ask for an autograph or anything." And but just my whole life, I've just had the philosophy of ask the question. The worst thing that anyone can say is no. What am I out? So I said, "Hey, man, this is going to be a crazy ask, but
Will you adopt me?
I'd be cool." My dad would have been like, "Yay, he's got more money." Whatever. But I said, "Hey, man, this is going to sound crazy, but I know you might be able to do this. I know one of your songs. Will you let me come on stage and play it with you?"
Shut the
I swear
fuck
to
up.
God.
Shut
It's
up.
the fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
I want to punch you in your balls right now because that is a
You literally
bold
asked
thing
him to
say.
perform in front of all 200 people at this thing?
I'm angry at you now,
There's
Andrew.
75 people in this
Exactly,
audience.
man. Dude,
You don't want to be here,
that's
and
being very
I
liberal.
do.
You don't want to be here, and I do. You know what's so funny? He was probably like, I don't even know how to play that song, and we only have 12 songs.
I know.
Better talk to my roadie. He's the one that does it behind the stage.
But no, I asked him, and he was like, "Man, I don't know if I can."
Now, that does happen a lot. Foo Fighters are notorious for bringing people out of the crowd to play with them.
There's a dude that was in Kiss makeup that played
Children.
Monkey Wrench.
Right.
I was 19. I was a child-ish. Like
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
I looked the exact same way I do now, but I was still a child. And but he asked the band members, and they said no. But he was like, again, he was like, we can't do it just because they weren't headlining and stuff like that. But hey, I took a shot. I mean,
So that's your story?
that's the worst. Yeah. I took a shot to try and get to play a song with one of my.
Were you resentful towards the other band members? Because it sounds like he was like a maybe. And then his bandmate said,
Maybe he
"Fuck
was just
this guy."
the weakest link. And they're like,
Well, he was
The
only
lead
one-
singer
he was
can't be the
only-
weakest link.
Well, he was the front man, but right.
That's their initial.
Well, he was
that's
also-
the
he was also
offset
the-
problem right there. The lead singer's not calling the shots. Like, what a fucking stupid band.
That's a valid.
I got to ask the door guy, but I'm going to give it a yes, but if the door guy says no.
So the instruction is don't look him in the eye, don't ask for autographs, don't ask for
But you
anything.
can ask to be in the band?
But that's the thing. Well, here's how my mind works. Here's how my
No
mind
photographs,
works.
no eye contact, but please give him your resume and your demo tape.
If I can find a workaround to anything, I will. Like, I just,
Hey,
Oh,
can
I
do
respect the
your
gumption.
job?
yeah, man. Like, yeah, it's.
Did you say that when you handed him a hot dog?
No, like I said, I was doing the bananas.
Here's your 60,
foster, so it was like we were
here's your
making
60 gallons of chili and my demo tape.
Like I said, he was the only guy. He was also the only guy that I saw. I guess everyone else was in the green room, but he was the only dude hanging out in the.
So
And-
you asked the only guy the only band member that ventured from the safety of the green room. You fucking pounced on that guy and said, "Can I play guitar?"
Exactly. I mean, because here's the thing. We were chatting about stuff, and like I did the food, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool." He took a photo of me making the bananas Foster.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, that's cool, man." I was
So
like,
as
yeah,
the cinnamon was aflame, you're like, "Hey, by the way."
We were just chatting. I'm not saying we were friends, but I was at the time. I was like, I mean, again, like I said, the worst thing
Wow.
he can say is no. And I mean, he did, or eventually,
Wow.
but I mean,
All right, Andrew,
not
that's a
that,
bold choice for the first story. That
Like,
makes
you know.
God, I almost hope that's true, just because.
So you hate him more?
I know. Because can you imagine how the singer must have been like, "Oh my God, don't give him eye contact, run away, tell the others, run away, protect me, protect me."
Yeah, I'm
well,
sure your
done
boss
it- I've
loved
done
that.
it Also,
Yeah, what
I,
happened? Did you get in
Oh,
trouble
did they ask
for
for
it?
a picture? No, he has to be in the band.
no, like it didn't leave the room, but that's the thing is like
Exactly.
That's what I was saying. Like I've always tried to find
Like he's
ways-
getting fired, like at HR, and he's like, "I did not ask for a photo."
That's my argument.
that's
Thank
all you
That's
said.
Exactly what I would have said.
Yeah.
And so your boss never found out?
No, it was just our executive chef was always away, and then our sous chefs were kind of doing their own thing. So it was just like me and
They were asking if they could hold the guitar.
exactly. So, hey, you know what?
Wow. God, I almost think that's a true story because you're just that big of a dork.
I actually, knowing him personally, I really could see him doing that.
Right.
I've asked
You
a lot
do
of stuff,
seem
right?
like
Sure.
you do seem like you know all the third.
Now, can I
Blind
ask you
songs.
this? Now, you said that your motto or your is like, hey, ask the question.
Ask the question,
Where's- Is there something else that you've done along those lines that where you're like, just ask something
What's the
ridiculous
worst
or
that could
crazy?
happen?
Yeah.
Is someone could
I mean,
say to you, "No,
there's-
dude."
I mean, he's working
no,
on this
dude.
podcast, isn't it? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I've done a lot of stuff in kind of regards to that, just having to do with small things. Or are you talking like a small thing or a big thing?
Well, I'm saying, you ever like just walking around the store and you see Rogan, you're like, hey, can I be your manager?
Nothing that crazy. I did. This is one thing store related that I did do. Because Bird does the poker.
Oh, yeah,
the
sure,
poker
yeah,
thing
yeah.
online. I
All
Did you
these-
ask
all
to be in
these
Bill
comedy.
Burr's band?
Yes.
Hey, I know a
It's
bunch
like
of your
a deal
jokes.
race
Can
to
I
the
go
team.
up and do your
I got
set?
some pipes. I'll do it.
Hey, Burr, can I be in the band? I know third eye blind songs.
It's 3 days grace. Come
3
on,
days
get
grace,
it right.
yeah.
No, but no. I said, hey man, I know this is a crazy thing, but like I know that you do the home game stuff. If y'all need a dealer, I'd love to do it. I know how to deal. I'm good with cards.
That's
Simple
actually
as.
not.
And that makes
that's
your story a little more.
smart ass.
That's a smart thing to
And
ask,
smart
and that does make the first story
Not
believable.
a bad move.
And I reached out, and he
What'd he
said,
say?
hit up Britton, and he'd see what it'll
Ultimate
work.
Yeah,
And
Brent
then
doesn't like guys that look like him, so he was
Well-
like, "You can't."
I messaged him, and
But he's like towers over Biddlecombe.
Yeah.
but his
What are you, 5'9"?
I'm right at 6 foot, buddy. That was funny though.
That's more of a zinger towards Biddlecombe.
Right.
Oh, fuck.
but
You
no,
weigh like 69 pounds and you made that joke, Jason.
I wish.
but his
With bricks in
response
my
was like-
pocket.
His response was just like, it's supposed to be like a home game, so a dealer would kind of
Yeah,
throw that
yeah,
off.
yeah,
But I was
uh-huh.
like, all right. Again, I
Wow.
asked him,
Wow.
I gotta know, but I wouldn't have known.
All right, that
Wow.
does, yeah, that's why I asked that question, because that does kind of lend some credibility to you asking ridiculous things to famous people.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, should I get angry at you or should I be proud of you that in the middle of fucking Oklahoma you would ask some guy,
That's gumption.
I know this song.
That's how people get shit done. That's how, I mean,
That's true,
There's
that's
another band
true.
called Coheed and Cambria. That when I was studying abroad in Scotland, I went to go see them, and
I thought you were going to say when I was studying abroad.
Yeah.
in San
I was studying
Antonio.
this bitch.
when I was studying abroad in my dungeon.
That's a lot to think about. Okay, Frank, your second story.
I used to work at a casino. I can't say the name.
Why?
What does it rhyme with?
Why can't you say the name?
It rhymes with Pachanga Resort and Casino.
Genius. Perfect. Well done, sir.
Yeah, I used to work at Pechanga Resort and Casino, and I used to do like
Is that where the Laugh Factory had that gig?
Yes, that's right.
the improv too.
No,
The
yeah.
improv
They've
used to have-
been-
And they
in
have
and out
like
on everything.
in the bathrooms
Yep.
they have like things where you can put your needles.
Yep,
Like so
yep.
like from people that have to
diabetes,
Shut
but
the
also
Yes,
people,
yes,
but also,
yes.
but also,
No,
no,
I'm
it's
totally
real. It's
telling the truth.
diabetes and people that do like drugs. There's a lot of drugs.
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
They have like a
1,000 people-
medical-
Because people would
Eating
get like
Pechanga.
because the like people would clean like the what are the H&R, not H&R, the something vac, the people that would clean
HVAC,
the
yeah, yeah.
bathrooms. They
Right.
would put their hands in and they'd get stuck. That happened a few times.
Can you
So-
imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh my
You would
God.
freak the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
out.
yeah,
yeah. Have AIDS.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's where
that's
my brain would go.
Yeah.
We had we had a bunch of meetings on it. Anyway, so I got hired to be. They just opened up this restaurant, Journey's End, and I was one of the original busboys to work and open that. And I worked there for like 4 or 5 years.
I'm sorry, but that must be the worst name for the restaurant ever.
Journey's
End.
yeah. Well, it's like a golf course restaurant, so
Oh,
it was
okay.
like it's the end of a. It's fuck. It was so
Right.
bullshit. Anyways,
Sounds like it would only open at 2
Sounds
a.m.
no, it was open
should
from.
never
It was a
order
golf
the
course
tuna
restaurant, so it was
salad at
open
Journey's
from
End.
5. It was open from 5 till about 3 p.m. For
In the
like,
resort. In
yes,
the
because like
casino.
golfers
5 a.m.
to 4 p.m. because golfing.
Okay. Yep.
Because
5
I'm
a.m.
just
because
playing the
golfers
game,
come
bro.
out that early?
Oh, absolutely.
oh yeah, earliest first tee time's like what 5
Oh, well,
5:30.
it depends. But
Are you
6 is not
serious?
under- 6
We
is not
I remember
unbelievable.
I'd have
Oh,
to
yeah.
I'd have to wake up at 4, get there at 4:30, clock in around
It
like
takes about 3
4:45
hours to play
5.
18 holes.
Yeah.
And especially if you have a foursome, which is the most common way to have sex.
How long does how long
we
does
just-
it take to play two holes?
Oh,
But,
so, hey. So we'd serve like breakfast and stuff. Like earliest person would have to get there and like get the coffee ready because like
that's gotta be
Right.
right. That does check out.
yeah. So
you have like a 6:15
Coffee,
tea
yeah,
time,
coffee's
no
real. I
problem.
agree. That's a thing.
I didn't know they did it that early.
Great.
Yeah.
Think about all those rich people that have to be at work at 9 or 8 that want to fucking play golf in the
and
morning.
yo, people would do that shit. It was crazy.
A lot of people. The more
And this
money
was
you
a-
have, the earlier your tea time.
This was
is.
a high end golf course. The part where like when we first started working there, we got to play. We got to play the same. The prices for the employees are the same prices as the tribal members. So it was $35 to play this course.
Which is cheap. What is it for an average Joe that's not a member?
150
Yeah, and that's not even
To play golf?
That's not even
golf.
expensive.
Are you
18.
fucking
Mind you,
crazy?
it's like
Are
a
you serious?
world class course, like
Oh, that's not expensive at all.
Yeah, huge deal. Anyway, so like I worked there for like 3 years.
There's some courses that are $1,000 to play 18 holes.
Yeah. I think it was like 3-4 years I worked there, and I just remember it was like the 2-year mark. We had just all done such a good job that they gave like an award ceremony for like because they have like different departments, food and beverage, like casinos, like slot machines, all that jazz. So food and beverage got awards. So they awarded like Journey's End was one of the restaurants. They also had like a seafood restaurant. They had like a steak place. But we got awards for like best performance and stuff. So they had
Performance being what? Like as an employee, like you did?
like best we did more, we made more money than they thought because the restaurant was slated to lose money because it's an amenity. So it's like when you're a casino, that's why like when you go to casinos, they have like different things, like really nice restaurants and places to go, and they comp stuff because they know that the high rollers are going to spend so much money that they can afford to lose money at certain restaurants. But we were just so
Loss
busy.
leaders, those are called.
Yeah. But we were just so good at what we did. We made
Shut up, Jason.
Don't have knowledge. What are
Yeah.
you doing?
I know.
But we made so much money that it was like we were constantly in the black. Usually we're supposed to be like a little bit in the red.
Right.
And it was a skeleton crew, so it was only a certain amount of like servers. It wasn't like fully staffed, but we were just able to do it, and so we all got like awards and bullshit. So the award ceremony is like on this like.
How old are you at this time in your life?
Oh God! So I moved here when I was 21. So I probably had like 19, 20.
Where'd you
I was
move
like
from?
19. Temecula. I was in Temecula, California.
Not with your dad in San Jose.
I moved. I was in. That was when I was in high school, and then I moved to Temecula with my mom when I was like a senior in high school. So then I got a job at Pechanga like right when I was
you
18.
had to move as a senior in high school?
Yeah, it was pretty shitty. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Anyways,
Okay.
So we're on this big patio. It's kind of like in the middle of the casino. It's a big patio. It's where people like get married and shit. It's a
Right.
really beautiful place, and it's got the different departments. They're getting ready to do like the they're getting ready to do the like give out the awards and stuff. And the thing about Vegas is all of the windows are you can't see through them, right? They're all blacked. You know what I mean? So like in Vegas, if you're hanging out, you could see out the window, but if you're outside and you're looking in, you can't see in.
I see where this is going.
You can't see in.
Yep.
But in
Right.
Pachanka,
It's not like that.
what is it like then?
You could see into the rooms.
You're watching somebody fuck.
So it's an award ceremony. It's everybody and their
Try not to say
families.
fuck in my
Everybody's
presence again,
working.
Jason.
Like all of our bosses, everything.
Everybody makes
Yeah. So right, we're on the patio. It's where like people get married. The hotel itself. Because it's like here's the patio and you can look towards the hotel and it's just got all the rooms, right?
Right. So you can see
You're
like
in the
30
courtyard with every
rooms,
room.
All the rooms.
and you can
right?
see
You can
in
see
all
everything.
the rooms.
2 floors up is a room, dead center, right? But like it's they're not facing like out towards like the view. They're like they have it to where it's like you could like all the audience is facing the rooms, right? And second floor up, right above the guy like giving the speech and bringing people up, is a room full of people, not full of people fucking, but a guy and a woman fucking. Like
Just a guy and a woman.
guy
How
and a
many
woman
people are at
fucking.
this ceremony thing?
It's like
How are they fucking? Are they like up against the window fucking?
Hold on. So 150.
Don't tell me hold on when you just said you could see a guy and a woman fucking.
So it's
Don't say
like
making
fucking in my
love.
presence.
so it's like the heads of the departments. It's like our staff, another restaurant staff, and then like it's like some of our family members because like 150 people, 150 people.
Yeah, okay.
A decent amount of people, and we can all see this couple fucking.
But like, are they
But
up
how?
against the window?
Yeah, are they against the
Yeah.
window?
She's like this, right?
With her boobs against
yes,
the window.
and
yeah.
he's behind her, just
But
giving
his
it
head's
to her,
like
right?
to the left of her head, so you can see his face.
You can't really see his face just because, but you could definitely see her.
Like there's
She's
four
like this.
palms on the glass.
2 palms. You can see he's like doing the whole waist thing where he's like fucking hitting from behind, and he's fucking this chick like fucking, and she's like looking at
For
everybody.
how long? Like how long?
It was like a good 5-6
In
minutes of
walks this
fucking.
guy with a banana.
Yo, they were fucking because because
And she's giving
can't-
all y'all eye contact.
They can't. They think that we can't see, right?
Right.
So and like everyone's stunned, so they like kind of try.
They obviously had to notice you guys were looking.
Yeah. They could see that people were looking, but they were just kind of like, but they were really kind of like wrapped up in the thing. So the security gets called
Really? Who
Yes.
calls security?
because it's the security's right on the patio. They
That's
could
some
see it.
bullshit.
It's a securities party. They're
Yeah,
a part of the
no,
party.
But why
no,
would
no.
they call no?
Because we could see people fucking, and
So
they're just
what?
like,
You're in a fucking casino. You're supposed to see people like people
yeah,
supposed to
but
be
it's
fucking.
like there's like it's like there's coworkers and stuff. So they start running. People start to kind of notice, and I don't think they figured it out quite yet.
My favorite part is how Felicia's so mad about this cock blocking that's going on.
I know.
Well, they
Don't
didn't-
ruin their fun.
They didn't get
should
their
be
fun.
inside of her.
Their fun wasn't ruined. So she gets on her knees, and he fucking comes on her. You see her just get on her knees.
Wait. Say this again slower.
Yeah.
You see her get on her knees.
No.
You see her get on the knees,
bullshit.
and the guy finishes.
So
right?
then, hold on. So you're I have
Hold on, hold on.
technical
Hold
fucking
on.
questions.
Hold on.
So you
hold
guys
on.
are looking. You're on the ground floor, looking up to the second floor, right?
The patio's right here. The hotel's right here. The speakers right here. We're the audience facing.
Right.
Okay.
So if
So
you're,
you're looking at
but
the
if you're
commencement
looking on the
speech
second
and above
floor,
It's only 2 floors up. It's
okay.
not
But
high
if
at
she's sinking down, so then you see just the top of her head.
all. We see someone go down, and we see the guy standing above her. He walks away. She gets back up. Another guy steps forward, and then they both look towards the door, and then that's when it ends.
What do you mean? That's when it. Who's the other guy? Yeah. Who's the other guy?
Exactly.
What do you mean? That's
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it ends.
So,
what do you mean?
as in like, so yeah. So another guy comes up to like come and like start to fuck the chick, but they,
Against the window
yes,
again.
Yes, but they hear something. Like they look towards they all looked towards the door. Or what I assume is the door, because they all
Right.
looked back, and I think that's when security came up and was like, yeah.
That story makes me so fucking angry. because that's what you're supposed to be doing at a casino.
100%. But those
That
the windows
architect
aren't
figure
black.
out that you have
And
it
if
can't
you're
be
in
two-way.
Vegas, you assume you
That's
just
not Vegas. This is where I
Exactly.
get right.
Yeah.
But that's
because
why
you're in
people
Pachanga.
think-
Vegas.
That's hilarious. People think it's like Vegas.
So people are aware enough to put little fucking needle receptacles in the bathroom, but not to make the
detail.
glass one way. I am so fucking angry at corporations in America right now. That's really weird, though, right? Sorry, I've had
They
two
should have.
drinks.
No, I think I agree with you. They should have let
Yeah.
them make sweet fuck as long as they want. They paid for it.
I'm angry at that. And I don't know because if you're on the ground floor looking up to the second floor.
From where we were, because we were on like the patio,
Mm-hmm.
because this is already kind of like in the middle of the casino. So it's like we're up like 7 floors.
Right.
There's like the big patio where everyone gets married,
Right.
and then there's the rest of the floors behind it.
Right.
And then so we're like 2 floors above from where the patio was.
And that makes me sad that someone did a threesome at Pachanga. Also makes me sad because I've had to do comedy at the Laugh Factory there. And that makes me sad that the chick did a
that
threesome
wasn't
at the
the only
Pachanga.
threesome at Pachanga.
yeah.
That's just the only one they saw.
I don't know. All I know is every time I date a guy and he tells me about a threesome he had, the story always ends with, and then one girl ran away and cried. Someone always runs away and cries.
Threesomes never work out.
never do.
Someone wants to come more than the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more than 2 other people.
And that they didn't realize, like, if everybody in 150, like, because 150 people are in the patio area looking up to the second floor, and if some guy's fucking me from behind, and I notice 100, and I notice that 150 people are looking at me, I would become suspicious.
I mean, if
'cause-
you're deep in the throes of getting fucked.
No. Let me tell you. One time in 1994, I was working in Florida, and I had this boyfriend named Pablo, and he was Cuban. He was so fucking pretty, you guys. He was so. I don't
Cubans are pretty.
mean to go old school on you, but one time I was working in Vegas, and Pablo came and visited me. And Kip Adada was like, "Can I fuck your boyfriend?" Because he was that beautiful.
Hilarious.
Kip Adada is an old school comic,
love
right?
Kip.
He was really beautiful, and so he wanted to have sex on the beach in Florida because in Florida you have the big dunes on some
The
parts
drink
of-
or the...
No, he wanted to squeak. And so
Don't ever say that in my presence again.
Please. Oh my
I will
God.
never squeak.
I don't-
squeak any vagina.
please,
Oh,
I've heard
wow.
3 stories about you squeaking.
2 of them are fake.
But that one is fucking ugly. Anyway, so we were in the beach in Florida, and he wanted to have sex, and I had like a denim skirt, and so he.
So 90s.
It was so 90s. And he pulled up my denim skirt, and we
Took
started.
off your Belle Biv DeVoe shirt.
I left the shirt on because I'm a lady, and as we're fucking, I look around and I see.
Making fuck.
I know.
Fucking sweet fuck.
Make a sweet fuck. I see,
That's the name of that. That needs to be the name of the episode. It can't
Clearly
be
got to
that.
be the name of this episode. Making sweet fuck.
I see like a helicopter
You're on the beach.
fucking
Yeah,
in the middle of these dunes, making sweet fuck, and I see like a helicopter, but it's like a military helicopter, like way in the distance, and he's like burr, 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 right, and or. Well, anyway, so then I'm all like, well, look at that helicopter. And this is while I'm getting fucking fucked.
yeah.
This is my whole point about the window
You're
story.
multitask.
But how?
Right,
but
right.
how long did it take you to notice the helicopter?
Immediately.
I mean, it's a light coming at you.
Immediately.
I was
It's a
gonna say,
noise
you're
coming
looking
at
at
you.
to pitch black, I'm assuming.
Look, I'm like,
But it's
I'm
also-
in between dunes on a fucking spring break, kind of, so it's not all that warm. And Cuban handsome boyfriend wants to lift my denim skirt and fuck me from behind, right? full alert, okay? You're in the public. There's people like riding bicycles like 25 feet away.
Your head's on a
yeah,
swivel.
you're like, right?
But I mean, if you're fucking in Vegas and you assume no one can
But
see
you're not
you,
fucking in Vegas. You're fucking in Pachanga.
that's the thing is they assume they were fucking in Vegas.
Wait, what beach were you fucking in Vegas? Where's there a beach in Vegas?
She's
No,
in
no, no.
Florida.
He's
Oh, in
saying no.
Florida.
I'm saying Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My point is
but
that it's
you're
like-
not listening to the end of my story
okay.
because I think it's very important, and I've had 2 drinks. So anyway, so the helicopter comes closer. The helicopter comes closer. The helicopter comes closer. I see. Oh, it's
I'm
really
coming right now.
Okay. Please scoot closer. So that you can see it's a military
Hands
helicopter,
on the
right? And I swear to God, as he's fucking me from behind, the helicopter hovers right over us. And I'm all like, my bangs, right? And it was these army or whatever guys they were, and they were leering out. So what I'm getting at is that girl knew. If she's fucking 2 guys, she's on full alert. And if she's looking down at you guys and you were looking up, she knew, right?
Maybe
So
that's
you-
what she's into, though. Maybe
Yeah.
she likes that voyeurism.
I guess that could- yeah.
Like she wanted to be watched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just assumed that they didn't know what was going on because also it's like,
You're also 19.
yeah,
Oh,
but
you were
also that's also
19.
not the
Oh,
first
this is-
time
I
that.
never jerked off and thought about that when you were 19.
Of course, that's also not the first time that they've had problems like that before. People fucking yeah.
Fucking pachinko.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Or
So
perhaps you
Andrew, your second story. I'm still thinking about Frank's
He was
stories.
like, I was
yeah.
on a beach, I was getting fucked.
I'm going to be thinking about Frank's
By a
story
Cuban
later,
man.
if you don't understand. Hello.
So I studied abroad in 2000. This is 2012.
What was her
Scotland, you
name?
said, yeah.
Oh, so-
Yes, this was during the time I was in Scotland. And there was me, my friend Nikki, and this other girl that I can't stand to this day. We all went to Italy. It was we planned. We had 2 weeks off vacation at the second half of December, and we did a week in Spain, week in Italy.
You and both of these
Yes.
ladies.
Now, whenever we're planning it, I knew Nikki ahead of time. She was a friend.
How
of mine.
old were you?
This was 2012.
Did you think you were going to hook up with one
No,
of them?
no, not
Do you
at
have
all.
any interest in either?
No.
Okay.
Nikki, like I said, Nikki was a good friend of mine. We went to culinary school together prior to this schooling, and then
Did you taste her souffle?
It's good.
How's her bananas Foster?
Her souffle rose quite well. And the other girl I met when I was there, and we were planning the whole trip, I told Nikki, I said, hey, we were the only 3 Americans at the school. I said, let's not invite her. We both don't like her. Let's not invite her. And she goes, we can't do that. It's us 3. We're all from the same school. We got to invite her. I go, okay. So we planned the trip. And then like 2 days later, she goes, I don't want her going. I'm like, well, we did the math already and figured this whole thing out. She's going. Like, it's the way we figured it out. So when we're there, we just start, me and her don't get along very well.
The girl that you didn't want to invite.
Yes, me and
Emily.
Yes,
The girl
Emily.
you don't like, Emily.
Yes, me and Nikki friends already, so it was fine.
Why do we not like Emily? You keep mentioning
She just in school she was just an irritating person. She was not easy to get along with. She just we did like a group stuff, and she never pitched in. It was like, school shit, but it was just like
Okay.
it kept building.
Sure.
For the 5 months prior to going on this trip.
Is Emily hot?
Not in the slightest.
Who's the other one hot?
She's cute. So we're on the train, and me and Nikki notice Emily keeps writing in this book, journal, whatever you want to call it. And we go to, and I'm trying my best to just let's try and befriend her as best we can. We've got another 6 days on this thing. We're in Italy. Let's try and have fun. And we're in, where is it? We're in Siena. We're in Siena, and we're sitting in this big courtyard, and I'm just joking around with her, and I grabbed Emily's phone, and I'm hiding it from her, just being silly, trying to whatever, and then she freaks out, and she's like, oh my God, the guy's got it, and then I was like, oh, it's whatever, and then me being, I'm a dork, I know magic tricks, so I know how to use sleight of hand, so like, she was like, I go, look in that pocket, she goes, man, look in that pocket, so she looked in the other pocket, and I go, oh, and I threw it in there, I go, check that one again, she checked, oh, there's my phone, ha ha ha, whatever, she didn't know it was me, I was just being a dick, but I was trying to just be silly and fun, whatever. So just this stuff keeps going, and I noticed she's writing in this journal. Now, I'm not a dick. I didn't read the journal when she was out of the room. I did take pictures of the pages, then I read the pictures, and just workarounds, as I said earlier.
Read the journal.
No, I read the pictures.
What'd you take the pictures of? Like, with what did you use?
My phone. I had a iPhone 3GS, whatever it was, and took photos of it and read the pictures, and she was talking trash about me and Nikki this whole time. And she was like, oh, yeah, he says his parents might resent him, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was just like, all right, it's kind of rude. And she goes, and his parents probably don't love him. And I was like, well, that's just you're just making some crazy-ass assumptions. And we're about to fly out. And I'd had it up to Emily. And mind you, I'm a total asshole in this story. I'm not going to do that. So, like, she had her headphones, and her headphones were kind of shitty headphones. I was, like, biting the cord to try and short them out. I was just a dick. I didn't.
Are you serious?
100%.
Yeah.
I was such an asshole during this. Now,
how old were you?
21. So 7 years ago, and we're sitting there, and after reading it, and she was gonna plan on like getting off the plane before us and like screwing us out of getting on the train in time. I found this out later. Main ending of the story is whenever we went on this trip, we each kind of packed like our own toiletries. Like I packed, deodorant and soap and conditioner, and me and Nikki shared shampoo, and she packed her own stuff. And then Emily brought her like she had shampoo, lotion, and whatever. And I'm not going to confirm nor deny, but since she was such a bitch on the trip,
Did you jerk off into her shampoo?
there is a chance that her moisturizer left with a little more testosterone than it came with.
He jerked off in her shampoo.
You jerked off in her lotion?
That was a long way for I jerked off in a girl shampoo story.
You jerked off in her lotion?
It was lotion, but I'm not saying it happened or it didn't.
I don't know what was longer, that story or the flight to the other country.
In the lotion.
I did.
When you jerked off, okay, so did you use the lotion to jerk off?
Good
No,
question.
I didn't. I should have.
That's fair enough,
How much
right?
did you miss?
Yeah, also, like, did you put the tip of your penis into the head of the bottle?
Yeah.
No, it was.
Thank you.
What was it? One
that
of the,
needed
like,
to be said.
No, that's good. It was I don't know, like a tub thing. So it had like the.
Oh, okay.
You open it. It wasn't like an actual. It wasn't like a
you can
Jergens
get it
bottle or
all,
anything
yeah.
like that.
Did you? So you didn't use any of the lotion? To
I didn't.
jerk off?
I may have.
Did you stir it up?
The biggest part of this that makes me the saddest is that I was using my phone. Obviously, got to get some spank material, right? And I kind of switched videos mid flow, so like I didn't have like the amount as to as much as I wish I would have. It just like mentally it was fucked up. So yeah, there you go.
Look, you know what I want to say is number one, you're fired.
Well, just don't ever
Step
go to
into
Europe
my-
with him.
step
Just
into
don't
my
go to Europe
office.
with him.
Why?
Jesus
Fucking
Christ,
fine.
that
As I said, I do not come out great in this story.
Don't let him get you any more
Literally.
drinks.
Grace, this is where we're at. So Frank's fuck. I don't even know what to do with that story, Andrew. We've done 33 fucking episodes. Number one, you've sat here for at least 30 of those fucking episodes, and you still couldn't fucking cut that story in half. Is frightening. Number one. Number two, that
haven't
you
told
would
a lot.
share that fucked up of a story.
You want to see other producers?
No, that's so fucked up. So his first
I
story.
think the fact that story took that long was very meandering, and I think he was kind of. And the other story, even though it's fucking insane, of you asking band people if you could just be in their fucking band all of a sudden while they're
No.
performing in front of 80 people. But I think story two, story one is bananas, Foster, but story two I think is not real.
Well, let's
And I think a lot of that is hope. I'm hoping that's not
let's
real.
refresh people's memories. So Frank's first story was about his father in San Jose who drank with the kicker of the
San Jose State college team. They're doing
Right.
well. They got a big game coming up, and he gets the kicker drunk all day. Who, by the way, this is like he was in college as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
your father can knock him down.
Yeah, still
And I
can.
think he buried this guy. Mm-hmm. And the next day can't perform on the field, and your father took the blame for it. That story.
And it's interesting because Frank is telling a story about someone else, which is the first time that this has kind of happened on the podcast. And your second story was about working at Pachanga Casino here in Los Angeles, on the outskirts of Los Angeles, and that you were winning an award for culinary excellence in the kitchen
it
at
was-
some restaurant, right? That's what I'm taking away from it.
Yeah, it was like a
And
tea
that
thing,
it was out in the patio and that you guys could look up and there was some chick getting fucked from behind. Even though she gave all you guys eye contact, she didn't realize that the glass was two-way and that she was actually participating in a threesome. And then in the middle, when the
Oh
third
no,
guy-
she knew she was participating in a threesome.
No,
We
she knew
didn't.
she was participating in a threesome, but she didn't understand
That we could all see her.
That you could all see her from the patio,
Yeah.
even though
Or
she
maybe
was,
she did and was into it.
right, and was into that. Yeah, and then as soon as the second guy came, then something interrupted
Yes.
the show.
Security guard.
Okay, and then Andrew's fucked up stories where he worked at some stadium in Oklahoma City.
Where the Thunder play, yeah.
And he was told not to ask for autographs
Or
Picture,
photos.
or
or
pictures.
photos, but he thought it was okay to ask to be a part of the team
It's not
as a guitar
It's
player
not part of the rules.
for a song, and he was told no. He cornered the one fucking guy that came from the green room
didn't corner
to get
him.
food. No, come on. If he was the only one that came from
Harass
the
on
green
the
room,
roadie.
yes, yes.
a Bananas Foster and a new guitar player?
Right. And then his second story was he went
It's horrific.
studied abroad in Scotland and went with two girls. Were they both from Oklahoma? Those two girls?
They were both from the same school. I don't know where they're born, but we both went to Oklahoma State. Yeah.
All three of you.
Yes, and we're in a trade program that like you went from one school to the other and
Okay.
jumped around
And that you didn't like one of the girls and the other
with a passion.
with
the
a
other one's a good
passion.
friend of yours.
And
Yeah,
you were just
still
a
talk to
complete
her.
cocksucker to her, and you jerked off in her lotion on some fucking fantastical bullshit train ride.
Yeah.
Because you took
Well, it wasn't on the train. I
photos.
was at the hotel before we left that night. But yeah,
You took photos of her journal that was talking shit about you and your family. And then you
that's
go,
kind
"I'll
of
learn
what.
her.
That's kind of yeah, pretty much.
I'll make her skin better.
I got exactly.
That is so fucked up. And as you're even telling us more, your nose twitch, and I was like, I've never seen Andrew's nose twitch like that.
Is that a tell that he's
I don't
lying?
know. I'm
He's
look,
reeling in
look,
the
he
moment.
just twitched again.
I got an
Look.
itch. I can't control
really?
it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So let's start with Frank. Do you have any questions for Frank, Andrew?
No, I mean the first one's kind of like a throw off because, like you said, it's from a story that someone has told him. So like it's
Right.
kind of hard to like.
And you know how parents tell you story and they're always full of lies.
Your dog's going to the farm. He's just gonna be it's you,
Yeah.
motherfucker. I've been to Pechanga, so I know like the layout of the place. So that seems like a possibility. So I'll go with Pechanga being true.
But I can't believe that
That's a
a
dumb reason for me to think that, by the way.
casino would hire an architect, would hire someone that wouldn't get one-way glass, that it would be two-way glass.
I amend my answer.
What?
I think that the first one's true. I take that back. Yeah, because I haven't been around.
So you think
your dad,
the
but-
story about
yeah.
the father is true?
Yeah, because I mean, like I haven't been around your dad. I've seen him on Snapchat or whatever, Instagram or whatever.
You've
and, like,
seen
he's
his dad on Snapchat?
on Instagram. Because every time that he's down, they hang out and he like
Uh-huh.
Instagrams them and they.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his dad comes down a lot.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
been here at the store. So I mean, he seems like a genuine dude. It's just like, oh, my son's gonna love this story. Here we go. It might have got embellished
on
or whatever.
Frank's Instagram or on his own Instagram?
No, on Frank's.
Okay. What do you think? Do you have any questions for Frank?
I mean, I kind of, I think most of my questions I was asking is as, everybody's stories were progressing. The first story, and again, I know your father personally.
Such a detective.
When you say that he loves to tell me this story, I really did hook into that and believe that because I know you as well, and I think you just conversationally said that as you were telling the story. Whether that story is 100% true or not, I do think your father may have been exaggerating, like he missed 9 field goals in one game or whatever, but he probably had a bad game. The other story, there was some things that you had said in it where you were like, we had a bunch of meetings about this, where you were talking about putting your hands in the needles. A lot of those things. But I think that the first story is true, and I think the second story is fake but filled with a lot of truth. I think he did work there. They did have a bunch of meetings about it, but the fucking thing, all of a sudden it was a threesome in the last second of the story, which might have been a little bit more grandiose. Like he could have not thrown the threesome thing in there, and I might have believed it more.
Yeah.
Like she just gets somebody beats off on her face, and then some other turkey walks in.
Well, he didn't say that he beat off in her face. It could have been her hair.
Or chest.
Yeah.
I mean,
but-
to be fair.
To be fair,
Well, here's the thing, though. As you were saying that, I thought to myself,
I think story 2 is fake.
oh, you think story 2 is fake?
Yeah, I think the Pachanga thing was marinated in truth, but ultimately the fake story. I think.
But how can he know that his dad's story is true, though? That's what fucks me up, though.
Well, that it could be.
Right.
It could be. But to him, it's real. And that's all that we're really doing here. To him, he believes that it's true. His dad could be making that up. It could be some big fish story.
It's like a good way to
But to
think
him,
about
it's
that.
true. And to him, the second story is not. That's my vote.
But as you were talking, I was thinking about this motherfucker won season 2 of Roast Battle. So that means he could sit there and think about
Oh, yeah, he's put
some
time.
four killer jokes. To win Roast Battle, you know, you really think about what you're doing. And who gives a fuck about that, right? But you really think of what you're doing. So to come in here and to tell 2 stories, knowing that he wants to, like,
He knows he's trying to throw us off the
right,
side.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's capable. He's capable. So that's interesting. I'm going to say the story number... I hate to say, like, story number 1 is true because it didn't happen to you. So how do you know it's really true? Because it could be exaggerated. But I'm going to say story number 1 is true as far as you know.
So you're agreeing with me on that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
But I'm going to say the Pachanga thing, I call bullshit.
Same.
So what is the truth?
Yeah, you called it.
Yeah.
No way, no way, no way, no way.
Well, you did work there, right?
It was marinated in truth. Everything,
yeah, everything was true except for
everything
the
except the fucking.
There was no fucking at all.
There was no. Oh no.
There's no two-way.
People were that
Heard rumors, but that
no.
wasn't.
Like it had happened, but it wasn't like we were all there for an award and stuff and all that.
Oh, the awards was fake.
That all was all fake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You did great
Oh,
with
so
that, 'cause
that-
I believe that was true.
No. Well, they had awards and stuff, but they wasn't like on the patio because
Okay.
also the patio like it's not a patio; it's a pool area at Petranga that faces the hotels and stuff. But the hotels are not double
Had me
pane.
until the second guy walked
So you
in, by the way.
can't see through the glass.
No. You can see through the glass.
You can
That's a
see-
real thing about it.
But
So-
you didn't see people fucking.
No,
through the
we
glass.
have seen people, but that instance, that story was
Uh-huh.
fake.
Okay.
But it was marinated
So
in
no
truth.
threesome, none
No
of
threesome,
that.
none of that. But we have seen people fuck in the windows.
Okay.
Literally, my
But
last
not
note
Wow.
was Frank's second story is half real, and it's the fake one.
Yeah. The first
Okay.
story is real.
As far as you know.
No, it is real. My dad's friends told me all of it, and it was. I think he only missed like 2 field goals. It was like but 2
So you
very
did good
important
at
field goals.
over-exaggerating how bad of a game he had, and that's what almost made me think that story was fake. So I'm like,
Yeah.
nobody fucks up that much, but good job.
All right, now we move over to Andrew's attempt at stories, and the first story was.
I hate you so much.
I know, no.
So bothered.
They're both so fucked up. The
Well, the
first. But come on, the
Second
first
one was
story.
I want to
Just
hear
downloaded.
your opinion first, and also I want to hear
Okay.
what you.
Okay.
Let's ask
All right.
Frank first. What you
Okay.
think about? Andrew.
I think the first story is. There's a part of me that wants to say the first story is fake, and the second story is real because of how bad and mundane the second story was. Where I was like, that sounds like a very boring. I traveled with 2 girls that didn't want me to be there.
But then
Right.
it takes a quick left turn. Well, it takes a longer, way later left turn.
But also,
it takes
it's
a
like
left turn.
I look at you and I'm like, that's not surprising. You would jerk off into people's stuff. You know what I mean?
I don't want that look.
Like, yeah, I
gotta get a new haircut.
That's more believable than you playing guitar.
Yeah, and it's kind of fucked up that you say.
this one's harder to me.
Yeah, what's kind of fucked up is you're like, my sister might be angry with me, but I'm gonna jerk off in your lotion. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of fucked up if you have these sweet, really honest feelings about your sister, yet you hate this chick so much you're gonna jerk off
She's not my
into
sister.
lotion. I know, but it's really fucked up. But then to think that you would ask as a 19-year-old to play guitar for one song at this arena.
But it's also
But that's something
dumb
a 19-year-old would do.
19-year-old. Yeah, that's dumb
To me,
19-year-old.
like
shit.
a dumb 19-year-old would be like, "This is how you make it in the. You got to take your shot.
Yeah.
And stardom.
Even though
What's
your
the
boss,
worst that can happen? That's like a 19-year-old slogan.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? I don't have to make 60 gallons of chili a week from now.
I don't know. So what do you think is the truth and what do you think is the life?
I think first story is real, second story is false.
Young lady?
No, you.
Me? Okay. I agree with Frank Castillo. I think that even though the first story is silly, and you're kind of like, you did what? If he said he did that at 30, I'd be like, you're a crazy person. But that sounds like something a 19-year-old would do that's starstruck meeting some, like, that's a daydream to a kid to like, oh, man, if I get to meet this band, what if I got to play with them? I know their one song. That's something maybe a starstruck 19-year-old would do. The other one, it just seemed, like I say, not meandering in a bad way like you're a bad storyteller, but
I am.
you were searching for a lot of components.
You're wrong, Jayson. He is a bad storyteller.
The first one was short and concise and had like a lot of specific details. The second one seemed very vague a lot, and that's what makes me think the second story's fake.
Well, I like to think the second story is
It's
fake.
very murky, kind of like semen.
Yeah.
Lotion.
Although his bullshit reasoning all through it, I have a 19-year-old, so I'm all like, that seems kind of real. But as an adult man telling that story in the comedy business, knowing how everyone's been ripping Louis and anybody who shows any sexual inappropriate behavior, I can't imagine that you would come on a podcast and say that you jerked off into some girl's lotion.
Interesting point.
Because you're very conscientious and overthink things a lot. So I'm going to say...
Which is giving him a perfect time to be like, yeah, that story's fake.
Fuck, I don't know. I think the first one is real and the second one is the lie.
That's what I agree. That's what all three of us say.
Okay,
What's
Andrew.
the truth?
You're all wrong.
Ah!
Jerked off into some girl's lotion. Oh my god, you're fucking fired.
Well, he's great at this because he tricked all three of us. I was
Oh, my
positive
God.
about that.
I had a feeling, though. I was like, I feel like,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
I mean, my first guess was
You just
correct.
don't know who you work with.
I told you, I'm not proud of it, but it
What
happened.
did you think about when you jerked off into her lotion? What was
How
the
great
thing
it
that
is to know
motivated-
she was going to use this lotion later.
Oh, at the time, I was like,
You're like, your skin looks fucking dope.
no, but like we just as assholes. Like she came in, I was like, "You're really glowing today." It's nice. And it was just assholes. But the first story, everything's true except for I didn't ask, and it was my buddy Kalen that made the food for him, so I didn't do that. But I didn't ask at all. But I did think about it a lot. I just never had a chance to run into him.
We were wrong.
Wow, I can't believe you're fucking that much of a creep.
I was 20. This was 7 years ago. I was a piece of shit. I'm not, I know to ask.
Have you jerked
now.
off into anything recently?
That I should know about.
Other than like
I
towels?
like my gin
No.
and tonic right here.
Jizz and tonic.
But with 2 limes. Wow, I'm truly disturbed by your admission, Andrew.
I would have bet money that we were right. I actually was that confident.
I know.
I was that confident that was.
Oh my God! Now I look at you with a whole different viewpoint. Anyway, where can people find you, Frank Castillo? I'm so disturbed, Andrew.
Frank C. Comedy on Twitter, Frank Castillo on Instagram, and at the Comedy Store Mondays on Potluck, Roast Battles on Tuesdays, and then just, opening up for people.
There you go. And Jayson, where can people find you?
At the Teeb on Twitter, TheTeeb. Please listen to my 2 podcasts, Punch Drunk Sports and 92.7 The Pod. Both of those things are on All Things Comedy. And, suck it.
There you go. Andrew.
I want to say.
Other than jail, where can
I
want to say thank you for letting me do
Megan's
34
Law,
episodes of this. We'll see who fills in next week. No, you can find me everywhere at one Andrew Rose across the board on all social media, and then go to arosecomedy.com and click on the book link, and you can buy my joke book that I wrote.
And you can find me in different bottles of lotion around the Los Angeles
I just
area.
wanted to say Andrew is the one that got all these bottles of water for everybody.
Now I'm really worried about that. He's like, here's your water.
You got to pay attention. You got to hear the crack. It's very hard to
Also,
read.
thank you to
so-
Jessica Wellington.
Yes,
yes, yes.
Thank you for having me.
Jess
It was a lot of
Wellington.
Yeah,
fun.
thank you guys
It was
for
so much fun.
coming out. Thank you, Jayson, for coming in,
Anytime
filling
you need
in
me.
for Jessica.
Social
and
media.
you can find us. Hold on, Frank, sit down. Sit down. You can find us. Me, Felicia Michaels, all across the board, and Jessica at Jess Wellington 2, all across the board. And we're supposed to pick who the biggest liar is. I can't even fucking look Andrew in the eye, and
let alone in the hands.
I know.
I mean, it's got to be him. He tricked
I
everybody in the
know.
room.
I
He
know,
got
Andrew.
Frank.
You're the best. You're the big fuck. You creepy fuck.
No wonder his hands are so smooth.
I know.
Hey, whenever speaking
Don't
of,
look me in the eye.
we've got a show at the Ice House on February 15th, and I'll make sure to use my own mic. That,
All right. Anyway,
so.
you guys have been awesome, and you've been lied to. Fuck, Andrew.